you want me to read out the questions?
I can see them on my phone, whatever you do. Sorry?
Hey Miami Lakers, welcome to our daily COVID-19 update here in the Town Miami Lakes. I'm joined by our Town Manager Ed Pidermann. Today we have several updates. Tenemos varias noticias hoy para ustedes. I think one of the real positives, and I heard about it today a little bit ago, was what Costco's doing is that they're allowing first responders, doctors, nurses to get ahead of the line, which is very, very, very important. We want to make sure we get those folks in and out of Costco and going back home, going back to work, because they're the folks on the front lines protecting us. Una cosa positiva que ha pasado en este último día es que Coco están dejando que las personas que son doctores, policías, bomberos, entrar a la tienda adelante de todo el mundo, porque obviamente tenemos que estar seguros que ellos entren con sus cosas y saquen a su casa, ver para atrás para el trabajo, porque son las personas que lo están cuidando. Those are the folks on the front lines, and that's a great way. Thank you to Costco for doing that. That's a great way to recognize those folks. Start submitting your questions right now. I want to make sure we get to all of them. Empiecen hablando de sus preguntas, empiecen poniendo las preguntas que el administrador va a dar ahora mismo el update del día. He's going to be giving our update today. It's a bit lengthy because there's a lot of things that are changing, things that we're redoing here in our town hall. It's a great announcement here in our community, Mr. Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to announce, first and foremost, that later today I'll be issuing a declaration extending our virtual town hall. The physical town hall, the building, shall remain closed until Monday, May the 4th. In an effort to protect residents and visitors to town hall as well as town staff, and in keeping with guidelines from the CDC and the Florida Department of Health, regarding social distancing and minimizing gatherings of large groups, we transitioned our operation to a virtual platform back on March the 27th. We were one of the first local governments that did that. The one department that was most hampered by this transition was the building department. The building department is the one that has the most person-to-person contact of all of our operational departments. When we expected the virtual platform to exist only for 2 weeks, it made sense just to simply shut the department down, in lieu of completely revamping all of our operations and all of our workflows. Now that we are extending the transition until the end of the month, we have retooled the department to provide as many of the services as they normally provide, with some modifications. The building department shall be able to do about 95% of what they normally do. The primary exceptions are no inspections inside of occupied spaces. Inspectors will attempt to perform interior inspections via FaceTime. However, if the inspector is unable to perform a competent inspection via the app, they will have to reschedule the inspection for when we return to a more normal environment. No certificate of use or BTRs for new businesses will be issued. No administrative site plan reviews. We're working on the new development that may allow this to happen, and hopefully we'll be able to get that working soon. No special event permits shall be processed or issued. Obviously, that makes sense. We don't want large gatherings of people. No in-person meetings. So anybody who wants to meet with a building department representative, they need to call and do the communication via telephone or email. No plan reviews of more than approximately 15 pages. That is flexible, so if it's 16 or 17, it's okay. Larger sets of plans, like for large commercial developments, those will only be reviewed. Some of those are 50, 60 pages long. Those will be done once we return back to a normal environment. Most other town services shall continue, as we have for the last 2 weeks. All public safety shall continue uninterrupted. Town staff shall continue to be responsive to emails. The town hall main telephone number shall continue to be answered during normal working hours. Telephone calls by our receptionist will then be forwarded to the proper staff member. The main town services that will continue to be altered are the closure of our parks, rental facilities, cancellation of programs and athletic competitions, and then the building department shall change their operations as follows. Permits allowed to be submitted electronically shall be all sub-permits and shop drawings. As we said, all permit applications with plans that are 15 pages or less shall be allowed. That does not include, the 15 pages does not include the notice of acceptance product approval pages. Those don't count in the 15 pages. Any Miami-Dade County expired permits, they'll be needed to be submitted by a mail to the building department, and we'll process them that way. Plans submitted online, and they'll be processed that way. Our permit clerks will verify with the contract information and place the watermark on the job copy and issue the permit via email. Permit cards will be sent via email. The customer, the resident or the contractor, is responsible for printing and posting the permit card on the job site. And as we stated, inspections. Interior inspections will be done via FaceTime when possible. In-person on-site inspections will be performed on exterior of the property, like for roofing inspections, and in unoccupied spaces. Picking up paperwork, plans from before that are currently in the office shall occur on an as-needed basis. Our customers need to call and schedule that pickup time. Applications for certificate of occupancy, temporary certificate of occupancy, or certificate of completion must be submitted via email to building department at miamilakes-fl.gov using the town application. No applications for BTRs. Miami-Dade County Fire Department is not currently performing annual inspections or business BTR inspections. So that's for everyone's information. The county DERM, impact fee, and fire plan reviews will be uploaded to Miami-Dade County system. Miami-Dade County fire inspections are currently only being performed for construction projects. So if you have any building department question on this new change, you need to email building department at miamilakes-fl.gov, or you can call them directly at 305-827-4015. And all of this goes into effect starting Monday morning. Now, I also wanted to advise everyone that we had our largest one-day increase in new cases. That's disappointing. Today we have confirmed 28 cases. That's an increase of 6 cases from yesterday. And actually that's 9 cases over the last 2 days. That's a big jump. So please, remember, you and I, all of us, we can do our part. We need to maintain and continue our rigorous hand washing. Make sure we maintain social distancing. That's 6 feet. That's not 6 inches, 6 feet. Only congregate in small groups, and please, cover your mouth whenever you're in a public space. So if you go to the supermarket, you go to the bank, you go to pharmacy, you go to a convenience store, have your face covering with you. And as the mayor will talk about now in a moment, it does not have to be as we all heard that term N95. That high-level medical mask is being reserved for our frontline people, doctors, nurses, EMTs, firefighters, police officers. Don't tie those masks off just by going to the supermarket. So please, make sure that we keep those and cover your...
Una noticia bien buena que habló la administradora ahora, que el departamento de building, el departamento número uno aquí en nuestra comunidad, que entra la mayoría de las personas a ver su plano, su permiso, varias cosas, va a estar abriéndose 95%. Todo va a ser por internet, por correo electrónico, y hay veces que van a hacer hasta inspecciones de varios proyectos sobre FaceTime, que lo van a ver por video, por su teléfono. So, les quiero dar las gracias a nuestro administrador y el equipo del departamento de building de nuestra comunidad, porque hace una semana hablamos de eso y ellos de verdad echaron hacia adelante. Son un ejemplo perfecto cómo se puede seguir echando hacia adelante una comunidad, trabajando juntos, pero al mismo tiempo estando seguros que nuestros empleados estén seguros, y la salud de ellos es algo para nosotros que es bien importante. So, gracias, señor administrador. And like we talked about the other day, the CDC has recommended that you wear some face covering when going out and about. I know we talked, a lot of the folks at home have talked to the manager and I via Facebook, and you've said, hey, we can't find these types of masks. We can't find a mask anywhere. One of the things that a Surgeon General put out, he put out a video not too long ago where he showed, hey, getting a simple handkerchief from your home, folding the handkerchief a couple times, adding some hair restraints on the sides. You don't even have to tie it. It works, and I'll put it on right now so you can see how it works. And this is an old handkerchief that I got at home. I put on 2 hair restraints on the sides, and it works well. So if you go to the grocery, you don't have one of these masks, you can do one at home, and I'll put this on right now. And as you can see, the restraint is there. This is an old handkerchief that I got, just folded it a couple times. I'll post a video later today on my social media. I'll share with our communication staff so they can do the same. And simply putting the 2 hair restraints, you can go to your grocery store, make sure you're covered. La persona que están viendo en español, esto es un pañuelo que encontré en mi casa, unos pañuelos míos. Simplemente lo puse en varios pedazos y lo fold, no sé cómo los doblé, para estar seguro que tengo el español correctamente, los doblé y puse los hair restraints, las cosas que se ponen en el pelo para aguantar el pelo, las ligas del pelo, y en 2 áreas, y mira, ya lo tengo en mi cara. So, si yo lo puedo hacer 2 ligas y nada más que un handkerchief, un pañuelo, y se puede hacer eso. Cuando van al supermarket, cuando salen para la calle, si no tienen una de estas máscaras o no tienen las otras máscaras, pueden usar esto para cubrir su boca y su nariz. Yo creo que es algo que tenemos que seguir trabajando. Como dijo el administrador, han subido los casos aquí en nuestra comunidad a 28. En los últimos 2 o 3 días han subido 9 personas más. Es el día más grande que han subido los casos aquí en nuestra comunidad. So, vamos a estar seguros que seguimos trabajando juntos. Si no tienen una máscara, pueden poner el pañuelo y las 2 ligas de pelo aquí en los lados y hacia adelante. So, empiezan preguntando la pregunta tuya. Start submitting your questions. I'm going to get my phone right now to start reading those off. I know Claricel's going to be helping out with that today too. Very much for listening in. And you heard again, I wanted to thank our manager for working so hard to make sure that one of our most important departments, which is the building department, where the majority of our residents traverse through to get permits, to get different things, they went out and now they're 95% open virtually, which is amazing, and I think it'll serve as a great example to other communities, especially the part of doing even inspections where necessary via FaceTime, which is the future. So I'll start reading out those questions right now. Mr. Manager, Marlene Rodriguez is asking, is the town of Miami Lakes going to implement what other cities are doing, requiring face masks in public? Obviously, we know that CDC has stated that they're recommending it, but I think there's some cities that have required it.
Yes, that's something that's been under consideration since the CDC brought it out as a guideline, as a recommendation. And we took the measure just a few days ago. It actually finally went into effect yesterday afternoon, which requires all workers in supermarkets, pharmacies, restaurants, any place where they're handling food, for the employees there that are handling the food, to make sure that they're wearing a facial covering. So it's something that internally we are discussing to see if it makes sense for even the patrons, anybody going out. So really what we would be doing is taking the CDC recommendation and making it a requirement. So I still have some discussions to go over with the police department, which is going to be charged with the mission of enforcing it and make sure that we don't put something out that's not that's more difficult to enforce. So those are things, the considerations that we're taking. So I can tell you for sure that even though it's a recommendation, and really we should all be doing it anyways, we are considering internally whether it makes sense to go ahead and make it a requirement for all residents when they go to these public places to cover their mouth.
Mr. Manager, you want to say in Spanish?
La pregunta fue si nosotros estamos considerando que sea un requisito para toda la gente que salgan al público tener la cara cubierta. Es algo que internamente estamos discutiendo, estamos hablando, quiero hablar con la policía, porque la policía entonces es la que tiene que ir a asegurar que todo el mundo está cumpliendo. So, lo estamos considerando para que toda la gente que cuando salga a lugares como el supermercado, restaurantes, farmacias, cuando esté en el público, que se cubra la cara. Es la recomendación de la CDC, so todo el mundo lo debe de estar haciendo de todos modos, pero quiero estar seguro que es algo que nosotros podemos enforzar y lo estamos considerando ahora.
Well, thank you. I don't see any other questions. Everything was regards to, all the comments so far have been regarding the covering. Again, there's no excuse not to have it, because I understand if you can't find a mask, but you can simply get, like I did today, get a handkerchief, fold it up. We'll do a video later today and we'll showcase it. Use some hair restraints, and that's your mask to go to your grocery store. That's your mask to go pick up some food, or go to the CVS or Walgreens, wherever you may go to your pharmacy. I don't see any other questions at the moment. Mr. Manager, are there any closing comments?
No, I just want to remind everybody that we can all do our part. Even though we had the largest increase in a single day by having 6 from yesterday's morning report, so we had an increase of 6 from yesterday to today and 9 over the last 2 days, it still is less than 1% of the residents of the town of Miami Lakes. So we have over 31,000 residents. The number is less than 1%. So it's still a very, very low number. So I want to make sure that everybody understands that. And the reason that that is happening and at such a low percentage is everything that you and I are doing, right? We're taking our own responsibility. We're taking self-initiative and responsibility for making sure that we do our part. So I just want to remind everybody that we need to do our part. Le quería decir en español para cerrar que aunque haya sido un número alto el aumento de gente confirmada positivo con el COVID-19 de ayer para hoy, que aumentó por 6, todavía viene siendo menos de 1% de la población del Town of Miami Lakes. So, eso es debido a todo lo que estamos haciendo ustedes y nosotros, lavándose las manos, manteniéndonos en pequeños grupos, manteniendo la distancia entre una persona y la otra. So, sigan con eso, que vamos a salir de esto bien.
And I don't see any other comments, so we'll be coming back to you guys live tomorrow. But just a reminder, please take personal responsibility. So yeah, we take that everybody in public has to wear a mask. That's something the manager is reviewing right now with our police department. But the reality is our police can't be everywhere at the same time. You know, they're patrolling, they're doing a bunch of things for our community. So please take personal responsibility. Please wear a covering. There's no reason why you can't do it. I just showcased it today with a handkerchief. Otra vez, vamos a seguir trabajando juntos. Tenemos que tener la responsabilidad personal para estar seguros que lo cubrimos de la ciudad, el condado, el estado, lo puede decir a todos los ciudadanos hacer eso. Va a ser muy difícil a estar arriba de todo el mundo para hacer eso. So, por favor, estén ciertos que la responsabilidad personal la tomemos en nuestras manos, porque no hay ninguna excusa por no tener algo cubriendo su cara cuando salgan al supermercado y otros lugares. Simplemente se puede poner lo que me puse hoy, que es muy fácil hacer en nuestra casa. So, muchas gracias. Mañana venimos al mismo tiempo a hablar de ustedes. Tomorrow we'll be back live. If you need us, reach out to us, 305-364-6100. We're here for you. Together, we will get through this. Miami Lakers, take care, and God bless.
Mayor, we have a question from Susie Hernandez. How many cases in Miami Lakes now?
Susie, we have 28 cases, right? Susie, I hope that answers your question. Tenemos, para repetir, para las personas que están entrando nuevas, tenemos 28 casos en nuestra comunidad en este momento. So we're on top of it. So let us know as soon as possible. Tomorrow we're working on this. We're going to keep bringing more information. The big news today was that our building department is going back online. Still a virtual building department, but 95% operational in terms of doing full service, which is a huge step forward. So thank you guys very much. Reach out to us. We're in this together, and be